Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, man, we got a bunch of news. I'll be honest with you, man. I think we're going to be calling BS on a lot of the stuff today, Larson, because
Same.
Number one, we've got alleged heat on Mercedes Moné after her AEW debut. We've got a rumor killer, on WWE trying to bring back a controversial superstar. And we've got, oh my good, I'm not even going to do it because I feel like Booker T is trying to torpedo one of my predictions for the year, Larson, which is CM Punk will be drama-free the entire year in WWE.
Yeah, if this is Booker playing an angle here or trying to get an angle going here, I don't know, this is a great idea. So, let's recap first. So CM Punk was apparently in attendance backstage during this week's NXT taping at the Performance Center, Orlando, Florida. And then on the latest edition of his podcast, Booker T, who of course does commentary for NXT, stated that he and Punk almost, quote, got into it, saying, in full, these transcripts come to you from cage-side seats. When asked if he saw Punk there, he said, I did. I saw Punk. No, we'll talk about that off the air, but I almost had like a little run-in with CM Punk. The internet might want to pick that up. Me and CM Punk almost got into it at NXT this week. We'll talk about it later. I don't want to put it out there because they're going to pick it up and run with it. But yeah, I'll talk to you about that off the air. Here's a couple things here. So this clip, about 30 some seconds, is available on the YouTube channel of Booker T's podcast. It's not like something, a comment within the length of the hour to 2 hour long podcast. So, like this was intentionally cut out a podcast and put up there. Two, saying, I don't want to put it out there because the internet's going to run with it, and then do put it out there.
So ideally, this is just foreshadowing maybe a CM Punk appearance on his show.
Or on NXT in some capacity. I don't know.
I hope it's not like, look, obviously Booker T is trying to get, some notice here for his show, which I don't think he really needs because he's always popping off with these hot takes. And you and I are both huge Booker T fans. I hope this is with Punk's permission or whatever, because he already walks into this situation, with a certain reputation because of the AEW stuff. And it's by all accounts, he's been all in on, he's Mr. WWE. He gets injured. What does he do? He doesn't sit on his ass at home with Larry. He comes to the NXT tapings, tries to be productive, tries to help out, tries to understand production, maybe with an eye in the future for having an actual role there.
Possibly.
And the fan sentiment can get so ugly with this stuff, and we've seen that up close. And it would be a shame if Punk's name was sullied at all because of Booker T trying to get the views. I hope ages ago he did the same thing with Corey Graves, and if I'm not mistaken, it was a joke between the two of them. It might have been in advance of a podcast appearance from Corey Graves on the show. If I'm not mistaken, he brought him on and they were joking about getting over on the marks or whatever.
That's a different situation because as far as I'm aware, Corey Graves does not have a reputation for altercations backstage.
He's not. Yeah, I know, but Corey Graves is also not somebody who doesn't come without a certain. The fans, they're kind of, back then especially, they were a bit divisive about Corey Graves. He would say things on social media.
It'd be one thing to be divisive. I mean, in this case, it's much different because of Punk's history. To say, I had an altercation, I had a run-in with Punk backstage. And if by all accounts, CM Punk is has been on his best behavior. They're there to help, there to learn. And to throw this out there, perhaps casually for whatever reason, I don't know about that. I don't know. So,
yeah.
So, but you mentioned this beginning, and I'm going to tell you again, don't start playing that Punk Daily song yet, because Fightful Select is reporting.
I don't want to, man. I want him to be positive. I want it to be good. I want it to be as much as I love Rob's Punk Daily theme. Not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Not going to do it. Good. So, Fightful Select reporting that NXT sources indicated to Fightful's Corey Brennan that they were unaware of any confrontation and were skeptical of Booker T's claim. One talent Fightful spoke to, quote, flat out denied the incident took place. Another source, quote, expressed surprise that Booker would make such a claim without offering more context. Fightful's report also indicates that there was, quote, frustration from those Fightful spoke to that Booker would make such a claim about Punk, given Punk's history with backstage altercations.
Booker, he's one of them old school guys, and he might think that it's all playing around, but you're going to poke somebody's eye out if you run around with scissors, Booker T.
Yeah, and then
I had to go to, because, these days when you go to the Google machine to, you type in Booker T CM Punk issues, everything from the past 24 hours comes up. ChatGPT, thankfully, though, has access to stuff before that. Because that's all ChatGPT does, just looks at the internet.
Yeah.
So I asked ChatGPT, because it hasn't had an update since January 2022, if prior to this there was any issues, because like the Young Bucks and Booker T.
Well, like it was the story that Cody and Jericho told about Punk being locker room leader. Booker T was one of the people in the locker room.
Oh, okay. So you remember that better than I do. ChatGPT said there hasn't been any widely reported or documented history of a bad relationship between Booker T and CM Punk. I'm going to see what about, I'm going to see how good ChatGPT is. What about Booker T and Batista? Because we know that was a thing.
Yes.
Let's see.
I like that we're relying on AI.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is, you know what? AI is useless. It claims that there was never any reports. Okay, you're done. You're done. Useless.
Here, let me see if I can pull up that thing from, here we go. This is from Cage Side Seats. Let's see. Here we go. So this is from a Talk as Jericho episode they did on the Jericho Cruise. It was Cody and Jericho telling the story. So this is how it goes. This is a transcript. Cody says, no one ever says I'm the leader. The first person who says that, especially there's this thing in wrestling, the locker room leader. Whenever somebody says I'm the locker room leader, you definitely know that guy is not the locker room leader. That's 100%. Jericho says, do you remember we had this weird locker room meeting at WWE once where CM Punk said that. Do you remember that? Cody says, so I tried not to name names. Jericho, I'll say it because it's my cruise. You remember what he said? Cody, multiple times. Jericho, as the locker room leader, I'm like, you don't lead me. Cody, and it worked on a certain demo of the locker room, but there was one meeting where Booker T was in the room and Punk hit as the locker room leader, I'm telling you guys all to pick up your trash. And Booker literally threw his trash on the floor and said, he's not telling me to pick up my trash. They had this whole interaction. So Glenn Jacobs is the only actual locker room leader, right? And Jericho says Kane. Cody says, yeah, he's the mayor now. And they continue on talking about
Okay. Him. Wow. Okay. So, yeah, man, I don't know. You'd like to think that's, in the past.
I'd like to think that's water under the bridge. That's something that probably happened 15 years ago.
Worse relationships have been mended, Yeah. And it does seem like Booker T is just sort of trying to get it. It's just ill-advised. I don't know if you should be, throwing that stuff out there. Even if there was some sort of incident, don't put it out. You don't put it out.
I know.
You don't put it out there.
I know. Given that it's relatively, recently that Punk actually did have a real altercation backstage that led to him being fired from a company. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably not the best of ideas to put that out there. No.
Yeah. Anyways. So let's talk about this, because earlier this week, the Wrestling Observer's Padawan Brian Alvarez reported that there were some within WWE who are trying to make moves which would potentially result in the return of Brock Lesnar to the company. In the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, the Observer himself, Dave Meltzer,
those other guys,
offered up some more detail. I like how those other guys is one person. He said, there was something behind the scenes this week that was done, the details of which were told to us off the record that indicated a less hard line about Lesnar, whose plans, which included an IC title match with Gunther at WrestleMania after a Royal Rumble return, were dropped when the lawsuit went public. However, one company source said there was no movement at all right now to bring Lesnar back as a performer. SC Scoops, Aaron Varble, tweeted today, Brock Lesnar is not any closer to making a return to WWE than he was when they yanked him from the road to WrestleMania 40. He is not being thought of in any creative capacity. No stories, no pitches. His name is not being brought up. After a report of movement within WWE to bring him back, I asked around and was told that there is no movement to bring Brock Lesnar back within WWE. I was explicitly told that, quote, no one is going to get involved in that situation. This is a legal issue, and until the lawyers decide that Brock is to be brought back, there is no movement at all or a movement on his behalf. End quote.
No, he keeps the rest of this is his. So there you go.
And then he
Don't
says,
take
so
any
there
bets
you
on
go.
any odds.
Yeah. Don't take bets on any odds that Lesnar will be back for Mania or anytime soon. You'll lose your money.
And apologies, that tweet was from yesterday afternoon, not today.
Gotcha.
So, when we saw the initial thing from Alvarez, we were both pretty skeptical as to the likelihood of that happening. And we would hope that those within WWE would realize it was a terrible idea to bring Lesnar back. And hopefully what Aaron Varble here says is accurate, and there's no plans to do so because it would, in fact, be a terrible idea.
You got to wonder, like, where Alvarez would be getting this from, because I don't think he's just making this shit up. So I don't know. My speculation was Paul Heyman was putting this out there because he's probably loyal to Brock. But who knows? Wrestling is weird, and you know, and it is.
Who knows? I guess we'll find out. I guess
well, time will tell.
Time will tell, indeed.
Exactly.
We speculated at the time when we talked about this. I think it was on Wednesday, whether there was some legal reasons why, beyond other reasons why they would keep Brock off TV, and Aaron Varble here mentions a legal issue.
It wouldn't shock me if like the lawyers were like, all right, we're clamping down on everything, everything that is related to this. And it's still going to be interesting to see if what movement's going to be made in terms of people who are close with Vince McMahon, being ousted from Endeavor, from TKO. If anything, in terms of, excuse me, the reporting about the corporate officers being named, being revealed from the lawsuit, if there's going to be any movement there. So I don't know. It's simply going to be interesting.
It is.
Nick Khan seems to be kind of a linchpin, like a vital component of TKO. And you wonder if there's going to be some, if he's found to have, if there's veracity to that reporting, if he helped facilitate all this, if they're going to be doing some mental gymnastics to try to keep him in the fold, if they're going to try to convince themselves, well, he didn't know, we take him at his word. There's no proof that he knew. He just, did what Vince said and, hey, set this person up with a job, I don't know, which way they're going to lean. A lot of it, I think, sort of depends on relationships and how much public pressure and sponsorship pressure there is. Beyond that, you just assume these people are all in cahoots with each other, and a lot of the, the harsher language that they've used is lip service. It's like they're not going to get rid of people unless they have to get rid of people.
There was something in the newsletter today. It's a sentence here. So this is since you brought up Nick Khan, I'll mention this. This is from the newsletter. Quote, sources at WWE did not comment regarding the story officially, unofficially about Nick Khan, Brad Blum being named as the corporate officers in the lawsuit. But past one simply saying they're aware of this and mentions that Khan is working on steps to change the culture.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that it'd be interesting how transparent they're going to be with that. Or how transparent they can be with that, given that this lawsuit is still pending. I don't know. It seems like it's going to be the potential for a bit of a mess.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyways, Larson, would you like to pay some bills?
Let's do it. This episode of Going In Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Steve,
Yes,
you ready for some questions? Two, in fact.
always.
All right. What would you do if you lived on the famed, you know of it, Kota Ibushi schedule and could add an extra hour to your day? Or if you could bend the reality of our universe as we know it and give yourself unlimited time, what would you do with that unlimited time? I know you're a really creative person. You got to have a wealth of ideas.
I appreciate that, but unlike Oppenheimer, who can sit there and visualize and manipulate space and time in his bed. Remember that scene in Oppenheimer where he's like changing stuff?
Quantum world, yeah.
The quantum world. I can't do that, nor am I Kota Ibushi, who simply adds another hour to his day every day. He goes to sleep an hour later, so he gets to add an extra hour to his day every day. I'm neither of those people. I'm just Steve. So, unfortunately, like everyone else, if there's something special or important that I want to fit into my schedule, I just, like everybody else, I just got to make it a priority.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I've talked about it extensively here before, but my mid-20s, I was having a lot of trouble prioritizing what was important to me due to severe anxiety. And therapy helped me figure out what mattered to me most, so I could make an effort to put those things first and foremost in my life.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. BetterHelp is completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
Learn to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
All right, man. Let's kill some more rumors, Larson.
Yeah.
Or at least put the kibosh on something.
This one, seeing this morning, really set off the BS alarm in my mind. So, let's go back a few days ago. Mercedes Moné does this interview with Kick Rock's wrestling podcast. She talks about her WWE departure, amongst other things, and it was all ahead of her AEW debut at Big Business this past Wednesday. And there was one clip from that interview that managed to spur quite a bit of conversation on wrestling internets. And in that clip, Moné stated that a return to WWE wasn't out of the question, saying, quote, "I know I'm going to go back there one day. Like I said, I have a lot of unfinished business in a lot of places." So, let's go to the Observer newsletter. And Meltzer purports to have the reaction of some within the AEW locker room stating, quote, "This one rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Time will tell, and quite frankly, she should always have it in her mind the possibility of going to WWE, but saying so days before she's about to start in AEW wouldn't be the right time politically to say that. There is a reality that some people consider AEW as the place they want to be, and some see it as a place to make money until getting the call to come back. The latter group has, in general, been more of a detriment to the company. In her case, she negotiated with both sides. WWE didn't give her the money she wanted, and AEW did. Could you imagine Jade Cargill or Cody Rhodes right before his WWE debut saying that they know they'll one day go back to AEW, and if they did, how do you think WWE would react? In time, this will play out as it does, but the people who were skeptical are now more skeptical. In the end, if she's a long-term valuable asset to the company, no one will remember this statement, and if not, everyone will remember this statement.
So the people, I have no doubt there might be people in the community. It's a large company. It's a large roster with a variety of opinions and whatnot.
Yeah.
The people that might be upset about this kind of feels like, to a degree, they're sipping on some haterade, Larson.
Yeah.
Their favorite candy, now in haters. I don't get this. This is ridiculous. I can't believe it.
I hadn't heard of now and haters before. That's good.
I think I made that up a long time ago.
That's good.
Listen, man, this she's making a mint with AEW from Tony Khan's pocketbook.
Not the purported. It's not the purported what 10 million annually as someone was throwing out there.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
some random person on internet, I think.
Yeah, just put numbers out there, just vomiting out numbers. Apparently, Kazuchika Okada's not making a $4.5 million.
Yeah, I think Belser said it's
what a
good amount of money, but nowhere close to that.
Yeah, that seemed kind of suspicious to me. Yeah. But and then apparently she went to WWE, was like, "Hey, I want Becky Lynch money," and they're like, "We're not going to do that." And then AEW gave her a lot. more than WWE was offering, and they thought, hey, you don't want to do WrestleMania? She's like, I did that already, main evented, lost, but that's all good.
Yeah.
And AEW gave her what she wanted, and that means she's worth that much.
Yeah.
So anybody mad at that? Anybody mad at somebody coming in, keeping it real, getting a big bag, increasing everybody else's wage in theory anyways?
Yeah.
Maybe work harder. Maybe put more effort into your shit before you start sipping that Haterade. Cope harder, man. Cope harder. I don't know. People are going to hate. And I get, like, to a degree, I kind of, like, look, I understand. I'm not stupid. Like, she says, one day I got unfinished business in WWE. But, like, as soon as she stepped foot in AEW, she's like, Willow, we got unfinished business,
Yeah.
It's like, I don't see the problem. It's a business, and
Exactly.
she's,
These are
being
all business
real with
people
it.
that are trying to advance their careers and make the most money they can while they're in their prime.
Like, can we all just be adults here?
No.
Can we just be grown-ups for once?
I know. I mean, I don't know how accurate the statement is about people who come to AEW for a paycheck while awaiting a call from WWE, and that's like a huge detriment to the company or a detriment to the company. I don't know to what degree that's truthful or not. There's probably examples where people have come in collecting the paycheck while waiting for their contract to expire. Maybe that's happened. I don't know. But to make it seem like it's like an epidemic within AEW, I don't know.
I kind of take issue with this last bit here that he says. In the end, if she's a long-term valuable asset to the company, no one will remember this statement, and if not, everyone will remember this statement. If she puts everything she has into the time she's in AEW and does everything she possibly can to get the company over, nobody can blame her for anything.
No.
If she is doing everything and more that she can to get the company over, to boost the company's ratings, to boost their attendance, to offer up creative solutions and et cetera, all the good, the things that you should be doing, then nobody's gonna give a shit about that at all. If she shows up and she starts courting WWE next week, then yeah, probably people are gonna look at this and be like, "You a son of a bitch," the nerve. Yeah, but I kind of doubt that's going to happen if she's getting paid that big money.
Yeah, she's getting that huge contract for a multi-year deal. Mm-hmm. I mean, she was at the Celtics game Thursday night last night.
Yeah,
there to promote AEW.
Yeah, right.
If it's a situation where she's making huge money, but if she's there, and as you mentioned, you saw the draw that she was in Boston for big business. They sold a ton of tickets once she made it plainly obvious. Not obviously saying, "Hey, I'm going to be at big business," but tweeting out "boss" with the $2 signs,
yeah,
Boston, making it perfectly clear that she's going to be there.
Yeah.
They sold a ton of tickets.
Yeah, right.
They did, and if she helps boost ticket sales and any sustained boost in ratings, it's going to take a while. Got to build that up. It's not gonna happen overnight.
Ratings are such a funny thing because ratings, in my humble opinion, I'm not a TV executive yet, but maybe one day.
The demo that matters.
Maybe one day, but like, you got to build an overall product that people are going to want to tune into. One or two people could help, but you need, honestly, to me, the foundation of sustained viewership for anything is just, how good is your show? How good is it? I don't tune in. Back when I was watching Breaking Bad every single week, yeah, I like Bryan Cranston. I think he's the bee's knees. But the bottom line is, if you're giving me a compelling story about a father who's making meth to pay for his cancer bills, then yeah, man, if your shit's good, I'm going to be tuning in. And Breaking Bad was pretty darn good the whole way through.
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it yet. But you're right about, star power can potentially bring people in short term. It's the quality of the storytelling is going to keep people there long term. We see that in WWE now.
Mm-hmm.
Quality of the storytelling's been much better of late, and as such, attendance has gone up, and the ratings have been solid. So, it's a situation where it's kind of across the board in any sort of storytelling medium. If the story's good, people will be into it. The story's crap, then people are gonna disregard it.
Yep, pretty much.
So it's also interesting, here, if Mercedes was asking for Becky Lynch money and got turned down. The thing they had, I think it was also in the newsletter today, about how WWE is relying on essentially the brand value of WWE to entice prospective free agents. Being in WWE, being on the largest wrestling platform, having that Mania moment.
Yeah.
And as opposed to putting forth the largest financial offer.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe they might feel that way, seeing how talent's been developing in NXT. If they're really high on people in NXT, and they're like, oh, we don't really need to bring in free agents because we can develop our own talent.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And if they think NXT's moving at a really good pace and developing people that they think are going to work on the main roster, unless they have an opportunity to get somebody they think will really make a seismic impact on the company.
Yeah, they've got a lot of leverage right now because they are like the hot product, and people like working under Triple H. Creatively speaking, the show is really good. So you've got pretty much everything there, and then on top of that, they can throw in there, hey, WrestleMania, it's the biggest thing. What are you going to go to Double or Nothing? Boo, right?
End of the day, though, when your wrestling career might be 15, 20 years, the peak of it, you got to take advantage of those 15, 20 years and make yourself the most money you can.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that WrestleMania allure is going to work for some people, but it's also WWE trying to keep their wages controllable. They're not going to want to be throwing Brock Lesnar money to everybody. And so, you're in my opinion, you're worth what you get. And Mercedes got a mint at AEW. Will she get the same if she decides to go to, maybe she's going to get the mint now. Is she going to get the bag now? And then understanding that once she goes to WWE, she might not get that money, but she'll get to go back to where there is unfinished business. And,
and I guess the other point of view could be, you go to AEW, you get the huge contract, you elevate your
stock
to such a degree coming out of AEW. If you go to AEW, whether it's Mercedes or anybody else, go to AEW and be like, look, upon my arrival or shortly thereafter, look at these metrics that changed. Look what improved, whether it be ratings, attendance, whatever. Look how much merch I sold, something like that. If you can point to criteria that says, hey, I made a difference for this company. Now give me what I was making AEW plus 15%. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's.
I mean, the hope is having, the hope for the wrestlers, as someone outside watching the product, is the success of AEW is better for the wrestling business as a whole, specifically the wrestlers, because there's leverage there in negotiating new contracts, and hopefully it'll elevate everybody's earning potential.
Yep.
We want wrestlers who put their body on the line to get paid good money for doing that. And, historically speaking, WWE has not paid a large portion, in fact, a really small portion of their revenue in terms of what they pay wrestlers. It's like 10%.
Yeah, right.
Which is tiny compared to any other sports body, league, whatever you want to call it. Most professional sports leagues, it's roughly about 50% of the revenues end up going to the players.
Got some breaking news here, Larson. This is very exciting. The Rock, 8-minute promo.
Rock says,
and part of his the caption here is, "Mama Rhodes, you're now in the Rock's crosshairs." Oh, I can't wait.
Oh my goodness.
Can't wait. Oh, I can't wait.
Wow.
Oh, that's gonna be good, man. Throw your ones up, Larson. Throw your ones up.
You want to get the show over with now so you can watch that. All right,
well, kind of. We're at 29 minutes, so we'll speed run some questions so I can go watch The Rock eviscerate Mama Rhodes.
There's really no official SmackDown preview on .com. The only thing they have on WWE's Twitter, I think, is Ray is going to be on SmackDown tomorrow. Oh, we got Bailey and Dakota Kai.
Yeah, right.
But they don't have anything on the website yet. I'm just going through their Twitter. That's all they've posted the last couple days, at least.
I'm trying to remember like who else. Like Rey Mysterio showed up last week. Is he going to do something? Oh, yeah, the whole Randy Orton, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens thing.
Yeah,
they'll do stuff.
And of course, Rock's going to be there with Roman.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, hopefully they open with them.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, it's top of the second hour.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea. Anything's better than the finish.
You get all the stuff that you absolutely need to get in the first hour. Get that done.
Yeah.
Stuff you don't want to get cut down due to time.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the first hour. You have Rock Roman open the second hour. Mm-hmm. You give them a good amount of flexibility how long they go. And you have a main event match that could either go 8 minutes or 18 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
While you book your show.
Done. Why haven't they hired us yet, Larson?
Oh, I don't know. There's probably 15 reasons why.
$250,000 a year. Would you do it?
I don't know. That's a lot of stress.
Not anymore. Vince is gone.
Yeah.
Now it's the creative wonderland.
If I didn't have to move, I don't want to move. That's the thing. I'm happy where I'm at.
But you have to leave going in Raw.
Well, it'd have to be both of us. It'd be a mutual decision.
Oh, but what if they only wanted you?
No, I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that?
No, I wouldn't leave you in a potential lurch like that. I wouldn't do that.
Lurch, get out of here. I'll thrive.
You give Luke a call.
Hey, Luke, come on
now
over,
you have to worry about getting rid of this guy.
Hey, Luke, ownership. 70-30, Luke. What do you say? David Matuszek says, with Collision being preempted due to the NCAA tournament next week, what will your Saturday be full of in terms of having fun?
Did you see that on Apple TV? They got an adaptation of that Manhunt book. The one about the Lincoln assassination.
Oh, really?
Starts today, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Who's in it? Who's playing Booth?
I didn't notice who it was.
I finished the octopus one last night.
Oh, was it a satisfying conclusion?
In that, yeah. They do a good job wrapping it up.
In that, you feel like you have a better understanding of everything that happened. I guess.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll be interested to talk with you about it and get your. It's one of those things where I'm kind of curious to hear your thoughts on it.
We got one more episode of Silo that we'll probably watch tonight, and then.
What do you think of Silo so far?
Like I told you, I mean, there's interesting aspects. The world building's good. The production design, although not completely original, is well done.
I like Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, and some of the performances are good. There's aspects of it that I like, and there's aspects that are kind of cheesy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it. So yeah, your Saturday. Yeah, what is next week? So next Saturday. So
I'll probably catch up on TV that I haven't seen.
There you go. I got to get my lawnmower. Boy, dude, my lawnmower. I need to get it fixed. My backyard. It was pristine. God damn it, pal. It was pristine, and now it's.
I'm telling you, between the rain and it hasn't really gotten that cold this winter. Like you could probably count on one hand the number of days it got around freezing, which is not common. Usually it's several.
Yeah, right.
It's just kind of a warmer winter here in Northern California. I know. I need to get a weed whacker and take it to my front yard.
Do you have a lawnmower?
No, I don't really have grass anymore. Like we took all the grass out of the backyard.
Because here's the thing. I got a pump coming because I got to siphon the gas out, and I was like, I don't think it's the gas.
You want my electric lawnmower?
Huh?
You want my electric lawnmower? It's a little beat up, but it works.
No, it's okay. I can't have a cord running all the way to the thing.
No, it's cordless. So you just charge it. It's got a battery in it.
Yeah, maybe I'll hit you up on that one. Maybe.
It does need a new receptacle for the clippings, though, because it's got a hole in it.
Does it? Does it have a flap that you can open up and just have it mulch out?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, maybe I'll borrow it from you. But yeah, I don't know, man. I gotta siphon the gas out, take it into the place, or I gotta siphon the gas out, put some fresh gas in, and see if it's a gas problem.
Yeah.
And if it's not that, then I gotta take it in to get repaired. Probably only like $80, but or I can spend $500 on a new one, which I really don't want to do.
Yeah. How tall is your grass?
I mean, it's not as tall as it was like the first time I had to really, lay into it, but I'd say it's probably 1.5 feet.
Oh, okay. This one, the electric one wouldn't handle it. It's more for like maintaining a lawn as opposed to taking down like.
It's a
grass.
tall task. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I appreciate it though. But yeah, we're going to Reno today, tomorrow, and so next, like this coming week, that's gonna be my focus, is getting that yard back. Boy,
There you go.
It grew.
Yeah, we had
Carl,
some kind of weed grass on the side of the house over here closest to the street that went from a couple inches to probably 8 in the matter of a couple days.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's
grows
beautiful green, like for a long time my yard was just dead and I couldn't do anything to revive it. So it's all great and lush. And so like once it's leveled out, I'll be able to take care of it. But man.
Yeah.
Carlos Diaz says, if Vince demoted people and canceled pushes because of sneezing, what kind of thing would get you demoted in a Rock/Triple H led WWE?
Oh, wow. I mean, if The Rock is keeping it kayfabe backstage, any reference to Cody, apparently.
Yeah,
like
right,
you're around
right.
him and you mentioned Cody, and he's like, oh, yeah, Cody brought Pharaoh with him. And The Rock goes, excuse me. You don't call him Pharaoh, you call him
Shithead. So what is your name? Well, Rock, it doesn't matter what your name is. What are you sitting here showing pictures of Pharaoh? Pharaoh, don't call him Pharaoh. Call him Shithead.
Yeah, it'd be something like that.
Call that dog Shithead. Oh, I can't wait to see what he says about Mama Rhodes.
Chris Stanton says, who is the second most over babyface in the business today? I'd imagine behind Cody. Is it Will Ospreay or is it Seth freaking Rollins?
Seth is over. Seth is really over.
Yeah, Seth's pretty over.
Rhea is really high up there too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if people want to consider her a babyface. Clearly, in the eyes of the fans, she is, and she just got done with a feud with Nia Jax, but then she's going into one with Becky Lynch. She's a tweener.
She is.
Yeah, Seth is really.
It's probably Seth. I mean, if you're going, I don't have like merch sales numbers in front of me, but so you can only really go by reactions.
Yeah, right.
Seth still gets a huge reaction. Fans still all sing his song.
They do. Yeah.
Ospreay's getting huge reaction his first couple weeks in AEW, but
I think the fans are bigger on Swerve than they are Ospreay right now. I mean, I think they love them both, but I think Swerve has like I think he's number one in AEW.
Yeah, could be.
DJ Fluffy says, could Mercedes Moné give us the first ever women's main event for an AEW pay-per-view?
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I'd be kind of surprised, given that Tony seems to prefer the world title for that spot.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that, but at this juncture, it seems like if anybody's gonna get it, it's gonna be her.
It'd have to be her versus Tony. It'd have to be like, if they did like a TBS versus world champion thing, it'd have to be like a big special deal for Tony to loosen up on that one.
Justin Sider says, we'll have the higher star rating average, Dynasty or Mania. So you're asking for us or those other guys? Because the second question is easiest. Dynasty will have higher star ratings for Meltzer.
Meltzer, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Without a doubt. For us?
I could see it being WrestleMania.
Maybe.
I could see it being Mania.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There's a lot of intriguing story possibilities happening at Mania.
The highest single match will probably be Dynasty. It'll probably be Ospreay Danielson.
Yeah.
But on average, it'll probably be WrestleMania, I think.
It's entirely possible.
Is there a Chris Jericho match scheduled for Dynasty yet?
Not that I'm aware of, and hopefully it remains that way.
That'll tank Dynasty star ratings and on the average for us.
Do you remember? I was thinking the other day about that horrible like Street Fighter no DQ match that Jericho and Adam Cole had on pay-per-view. That was awful. Even just like 3 days prior, Jericho had a decent Falls Count Anywhere match against Roderick Strong.
Yeah, right.
On Dynamite. Yeah. Like that one was fun, and the Cole match was awful.
You see that guy who fell asleep in the theater after whacking it?
No.
I've been meaning to bring this up. Bro, you got to get on Twitter. Because somebody posted a picture, like they're in the movie theater, right? And it's whatever the latest Kristen Stewart movie is, like Love Lies Something Sleeping or something like that.
All right.
And they took a picture. It's like, okay, so you know how like at the modern movie theaters, they've got like the recliners?
Yeah.
Well, this seemed to be like kind of a 2-level deal where, the first row here and the second level, the person was like taking a picture down onto this person.
All right.
And the caption was, this drunk guy came in here, jacked off till he fell asleep. And the dude, and it's just like the dude laying there, and his pecker is like in his hand, limp.
Gosh.
And he's sleeping. And,
Oh my God.
and he's got like next to him this fucking little table set up of like there's some Marlboros, like I think like some candy, I think, his wallet, his keys. And then the update was police came, they were alerted, police came in, he got arrested, and you know, there's no update since then for lewd behavior. It happened in Detroit.
Oh my
Where was
goodness.
RoboCop when you needed him, Larson?
That's a good point.
I'll send you the post.
I don't need to see it. You described it well enough. I don't need to see it.
You got to zoom in a little bit to see it. I was like, bro, is that really just in his hand?
Oh my gosh.
What are people doing in the world? Twitter's been crazy lately, man.
It's been something. You got that right. My word.
Let's see here. One Chad to rule them all says, how would you respond if one of your kids told you they wanted to be a pro wrestler?
You know, if my kids were really into it, I'd be supportive, but I want to make sure they do exactly what they were getting into.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of along the same lines as like if one of my kids, and this is my liberal Californian coming out, but like tackle football.
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
For little kids.
I don't think it's that much of a stretch given the injury, specifically head injury risk. Yeah.
It's like a horror in the culture itself, because like Bama was in cheerleading, and it's just the culture is so fucking toxic. It's just nothing but, you know, I'm not going to get into it in case any of the friendos are parents of tackle football kids, and that's fine if that's what you guys have decided on. I'm not going to judge you, although secretly I probably will. But yeah, it's like, man, kids get fucked up doing that shit, and I wouldn't do that. Pro wrestling, like, you don't start until you're like much later in life.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, you know, in England or
Unless you're
Mexico.
Pete Dunne, yeah.
Right, exactly. They start having matches at 12. So I don't know, man. I'd probably sit them down and really educate them on you want to look at, you know, at the harsh realities of what it can be. And it can be pretty harsh, like on the body, on the mind, navigating that world, which still in some cases can be pretty ugly, I think.
It can be, yeah. You know, if after having the conversation with them and they're willing to still go into it eyes wide open, then it's just being there for them to make sure they can navigate that world as effectively and as safely as possible.
I'd sit her down if it's Bama. I'd sit her down with Magnum AD.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think he would probably be able to like lay it out in the starkest terms.
Oh yeah,
he's been around the industry for, you know, decades now.
He's seen a lot too.
And and you know, I'd be like, hey, talk to this veteran here, and get, you know, the secrets of pro wrestling exposed. I'd sit her down and have her watch that the Fox special. Anyways, that's all the questions I have over here.
Oh, okay. We got more here on Patreon. Cool. Tymor asks, who do you think will get a special entrance at Mania? I think it has some practical lightning in the venue for The Rock for his tag match.
That'd be cool.
Pretty neat. Cody will get something.
Neat. Cody will definitely get something. Rhea will
Farrell
probably get
will join
something.
him for his entrance.
Who?
Pharaoh. Oh, sorry.
Shithead. Call him Shithead.
Sorry. Apologies.
Pharaoh, come here, Pharaoh. Don't call that dog Pharaoh. Call him Shithead.
Luis says, what has been the best playoff matchups in sport? We talk about a single game or series? The Cavs coming back from 3-1 was something else.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Nuts. Unprecedented.
I mean, you got to go back and look at like the history of the Bulls and the Pistons. I'm sorry, is this comeback or series or just? Really
it just says what has been the best playoff matchups in sports. So it's not necessarily
the Knicks and Pacers.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, Bulls Pistons was really good because that was a 3-year story arc there essentially.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls losing them twice in the finals or the conference finals, only to beat them the third time. Yeah, more or less spelling the demise of the Pistons' bad boys dynasty. That's something. I mean,
yeah.
Celtics Lakers in the 80s.
Kings Lakers.
Yeah. Jimmy Thomas, what's the over on the amount of wrestling on SmackDown tonight?
Oh yeah, because last week it was 28 minutes, and people were kicking up a fuss about that because usually it's closer to 40.
Depending on when we get the Rock Roman bit, you said 28 minutes last week.
It was 28 last week. Yeah. They also had that Bailey interview. I'm going to say 35 is the over under.
I'll take the under on that.
Really?
Yeah. I'll take the under.
I'd go slightly over. I'd say it's going to be closer to 39. That's my guess.
All right, we'll see. Blake here says, Steve, what could Cody do to politic his way into you both walking and picking up shithead's poop?
Oh, I did the fake out thing again today. She pooped in the front of the school. But here's the thing. I was prepared to actually pick it up. It was so like gooey and nasty. I was like, this isn't even going to come up anyways. Like, it's just going to rub into the ground, and I'm going to be sitting here with like a bag with smeared poop on it as opposed to actual poop.
It's better to get some of it as opposed to none, right?
No, not really. If you step in it, you just step in some instead of, some more. So I just sort of acted like I picked it up.
Potentially a smaller mess on your shoe.
I just acted like I picked it up. And I just, shouldn't have even done that, to be honest with you.
No, you should. Well, you should have picked it all up.
Look like an idiot out there.
Yeah, you did look like an idiot. Just pick it all up. Shaggy 2 Cokes says, I know you guys don't watch NXT, but what NXT superstars do you think could have World Championship seal? That was harsh.
No, it was pretty funny, though. What was the question?
What NXT superstars do you think have World Championships ceilings?
Luca the lawyer.
All right.
And then Randy Orton's kid.
Miles Bourne, is that his name?
Is that his name?
I think so.
I fucking don't know. Drew Gulak.
Charlie Dempsey.
Charlie Dempsey's badass. Yeah, Noam Dar, WWE Undisputed Champion.
I know the metaphor name for the faction is not great, but their entrance, I saw a clip of their entrance, is awesome.
It's a cool entrance.
It's super cool. The silhouettes behind
it's pretty neat, yeah.
The lights, it's pretty awesome. It's really cool. It's really well done.
Oh, man, that was funny. Whenever you go too harsh on me, it's comical.
I know. Part of me always feels bad, but I'm joking.
You shouldn't feel bad. We've known each other for 30 years. It's shocking we're still as close as we are.
Not at all. It's not shocking, Steve.
Oh, my goodness. Anyways, yeah, we're not sick of each other yet, though.
And if it hasn't happened after 30 years, I doubt it's going to happen.
I doubt it's going to happen.
Especially after 2 years working together in an office.
Yeah, I know.
That was really the litmus test.
That was the test right there, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, is that it? We're good?
Well, Alex Foster says, I know you really want to watch that Rock video. How would Cody weasel his way out of doing favors for you guys? Let's say Cody.
Oh, like the Seth thing?
Yeah.
We're going to help him, and then we're like, but
like Cody's like, you run into Cody. Maybe you're friendly, not friends with him. And you're talking about what a mess your backyard is.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And it's like, man, it'd be cool if I had someone to help out. Hey, what are you doing, Cody?
Yeah.
You want to come help out? That'd be a great idea. We can hang out. I'll buy some beer.
Yeah.
And he's like,
He would just turn to the camera and say, and I've got a message for The Rock.
Exactly. Exactly.
That was fucking hilarious. So it's like, and I hope, Cody, you're going to have my back. And I've got a message for The Rock.
To answer that question, I got a message for The Rock. Gosh, that was funny.
Oh, that's the best. Anyways, shit. Hey, they're giving us cues, man. We got to get out of here.
You keep doing that.
We got Hilton's giving us cues.
He's got his cues. There's no one else in that room with you.
Did you see Hilton was tweeting his own work? There was so the other night the Kings blew out the.
Yes, I did see that. I did. Yes, yeah.
So the Kings, for the people, the Kings blew out the Lakers, and Hilton tweeted, and so they showed footage of the Exodus cam, which is in arena entertainment. Will like show people leaving sad because they're fans of the visiting team.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
And Hilton tweeted out like, "Oh, this is great." I was like, "You did it."
It is good. The name's great.
Oh man, that dude gave himself a pat on the back. I love it. I love it. Anyways, that's gonna do it because we do have cues. I'm serious. So we have cues. So we got to get out of here. So
What
thanks
cues?
everybody for tuning
What are
in.
these
We got
cues?
cues right now. We gotta go.
What are these
We're
cues?
out. Robin ends next. We're out.